This week on the podcast and on the YouTube channel, I'm talking to you about the surefire way to measure whether you are on the right track on your job hunt and in anything that you're doing, whether or not you are going to be successful. If you are not seeing results right now, I'm going to tell you exactly how to tell whether or not you're on the right track. And if you're not, how to get on the right track. So that's what this week's video is about. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to quickly come on and do a little bit of a video on something that is on my mind. Emotional regulation. So we talk a lot about the actions that we have to do and the things we need to do to land our next job, to be successful. I see business and the job search very, very similar. We're in the same thing that we're doing, but we have a slightly different result in mind. So for you, you want to get one customer that pays you a salary for if you're in a job search. And for a business owner, you want to get many customers that continually pay you or are loyal to you or you are in a business relationship with, ideally, right? Those are the two goals, right? And in either situation, regulating our emotions is not something that we talk about. So just to nail it down really, really simply for you, how are you feeling on a day-to-day basis? Okay. So when you don't have the result yet, so say you don't have the job yet, if you're in business, you don't have the clients yet, you don't have the customers yet, and maybe you have some opportunities, maybe you don't. Maybe you've got some people on the list to call, maybe you've got some people on your list to reach out to or some companies on your list to reach out to, but you haven't received responses from them yet. Maybe you haven't put any work in yet. The indicator of whether or not you're going to be successful is your ability to regulate your emotions, be aware of them, and channel them into the energy that needs to happen so that you can create that result. It's called the energy of creation. And it's going to depend on how good you are at doing this. And it starts in the mind. It is a mental game. So let's say job seeker one is feeling on a daily basis, if we were to take a snapshot of how this person is feeling. As an example, let's say they're feeling defeated, they're feeling disheartened, they're feeling rejected, they're feeling down. Basically, they're feeling like their results aren't coming, so therefore they feel bad, right? And so this is what we call giving power to external results, right? So they're basically saying, well, I have to have that result in order to feel good right now. I have to have that result in order to feel worthy, feel validated, feel like I can do it, feel like it's working, right? I have to have that first, right? Versus the second person, and these are both totally viable options. You can choose either one of these at any given moment. Maybe it's not as easy as I'm making it sound, but you can definitely do it. The second job seeker would be thinking, it's happening. It's already done. I cause it to happen. There's so many things in my control that I cause to happen. These are the things I'm doing. These are the things I'm getting to. These are the people I'm going to be speaking to. Their mind is just in a totally different direction, right? It's focused on the energy of creation versus focused on the feelings of it's not here yet. I don't have it. I'm not doing it. What if it's not possible, right? That's because your brain will go where you take it, where you put the energy that you have. You have energy inside you right now. It's power. Where are you putting it? Are you putting it into feeling discouraged? Are you putting it into feeling rejected? Are you putting it into feeling like it's hopeless? Or are you putting it into feeling into your next steps, your next idea, your next possibility, your next opportunity? And when you put it there, your feelings change, right? So your thoughts, everything you think creates a frequency. And so in the first example, that person is creating a low frequency, right? And I'm not saying don't feel your emotions. We're going to have ups and downs on this journey no matter what. Everybody does. I'm a human. Of course I do. I am I'm the person who's been on a consultation call where I got a no and I started crying afterwards, right? But that's not where I found my success, right? It was a thing I had to go through. I had to process the emotion, but it's not where I found any success, right? It was just a part of the journey where you have to process the emotion, right? So I'm not saying don't feel your emotions, but I'm saying you can have a good indicator of whether or not you're going to be successful by how your feelings are on a day-to-day basis, right? So if your feelings are low, and you're in a habit of staying in low feelings like that, your success and your chances of success are going to be lower and they're going to take a lot longer. Okay. If you are training yourself to be in a habit of higher feelings, higher frequency, higher success, higher opportunity, your brain is going to start to wire smarter ideas together. So it's going to start to say things to you like, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you go to this thing? Why don't you talk to this person? And even if you don't want to, your brain is going to say, yeah, I know we don't want to, but we should probably do that because that's an opportunity that's in front of us. It seems easy to do. Let's just go do it. Right. So it depends on where you're at, how long you've been doing mental work for. It might be very, very hard for you to get started, and that's okay because I started at the beginning too. I started where I got discouraged, frustrated, and would cry every time, and it would be a whole big thing. And now at the point where I'm like, okay, that didn't work. Let's get curious. I caused this to happen. I create this. Let's go. Right. So, and that didn't happen overnight. Right. That happened over several months, several experiences, several things that I did, right? And I mean mental. It's all about the mindset. So people say it's not all mindset. I'm like, it is actually. It's at least 80% mindset, if not more. So for the person who is going to be successful, and we can see that it's going to be more indicative that they're going to be successful when we look at how they're feeling every day, their feelings are going to be different. So they're not going to be feeling discouraged as often. They might have little blips of, oh, that's a bummer. Oh, that's not working. Or they might have a little thought of like, oh, okay, I don't have that yet. Or maybe they think, oh, my bank balance is going down. They might have that thought, right? And that might be true, but they're not going to let that like take over their day. They're not going to focus on that. That's not going to be their prime focus. Their focus is going to be on the energy of creation. Okay. And so those feelings in the energy of creation that you will have are going to be feelings like determined, feelings like encouraged, empowered. One thought that I've had recently that's making me feel my frequency really high and making me feel really empowered is I cause things to happen, right? I can cause this to happen and I can see it already done, right? And that happens when you have already done a few things and you can see, okay, I do have the ability to cause these things to happen. And I know for a fact that you do too, even if like I talk to my clients all the time and they always are going to have an example of a time when they caused something to happen, right? When they took an action, right? And they might not even be sure of how their mindset played a role in it, but it absolutely did. So, and that's one of the things I do with my clients in our coaching sessions is I'll show them how they caused something to happen for themselves, even if they weren't completely aware of how they did it. And that's called the success blueprint because we can break down exactly how you create success for yourself and we can replicate that for you. So let's just wrap it up here. It was a little bit of a tangent. It's how are you feeling on a day-to-day basis is going to be indicative of your success. So if you're feeling discouraged most days, if you're feeling down most days, if you're feeling disheartened, irritated, frustrated, rejected, if you're letting those like external circumstances make you feel that way, then that is going to be a slow road to success, slow progress. It's going to make you feel desperate. It's just going to spiral in that direction, right? And that saying comes to mind, bodies in motion, stay in motion, bodies at rest, stay at rest. Like it's going to repeat the same pattern that has been repeating, right? So if you want to be more successful, you're going to need to start feeling different feelings on a daily basis. That is going to be a requirement for you if you have been feeling very discouraged or very down on a regular basis. And maybe that's a habit of yours. Maybe that's how you are used to feeling. The version of you who has the success you want doesn't feel like that as often. Not saying they will never feel like that, but they do not feel like that as often. So if we had like a block of you have 100 units in a day, say, and say somebody who's not having a lot of success is feeling frustrated, discouraged, despondent for, let's say, 80 of those units. And maybe for 20 of them, they're feeling pretty good. That's going to be indicative of the time, of the energy and the brain power that they're using and putting into that despondent, discouraged feelings versus the successful ones, right? So they might have a little glimmer and the 20% might only come when somebody says something to them or when someone reaches out to them or when there's an external cause that says, oh, hey, I can give you an opportunity. Then they get happy and excited. But then as soon as that goes away or that doesn't work out, then they go right back into their 80% habitual feelings, right? So our goal, this is my goal for myself and for you, is for you to have 80% of your day filled with empowering thoughts and feelings, right? So there's lots of ways to do that. One of those ways is getting moving. Getting moving in your body really helps you to wire new connections and new ideas. Working out is actually linked to hitting your goals. You're pushing yourself, you're doing something out of your comfort zone, and you're moving your body and you're moving that energy around, and that is going to create a different feeling for you. It's like free endorphins, basically. So the goal for you and the goal for my clients is that we're 80% focused on the thoughts and feelings that are empowering and carry a high frequency. And of course, there's going to be the 20% of the time, and this is not an exact science, but there's going to be a percentage of the time where you're not feeling that way. And that's okay. That is necessary. We have to process through our emotions. So, say we get a really tough rejection or something, like that's okay. I would recommend you watch some videos, some TED Talks on rejection. I have a couple of really good ones. I have a video and I have a podcast, which I can link below in this video, to reframe your feelings on rejection, get a new perspective, wire your brain a little bit differently when it comes to rejection. Start doing that. That will help you up level into the frequency for 80% of the time that you need to be in to create results. Okay. So that was what was on my heart to talk about. I hope that feels good. I'm about to jump on a LinkedIn Live with one of my colleagues from Privacy Pros. I recorded a podcast with him earlier this month as well, which was awesome. And he wanted to do a live. So I was like, yes, let's do it. So that's what I'm up to today. I just wanted to share this video with you. If you haven't seen today, my friend and colleague Elvie has helped me with a post to get the word out about my free training. I would love for you to go check out that post, engage with it. And I'll send you something for free if you do, because I really appreciate any engagement that I can get on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's hard to get those little boosts. So each and every person who comments, likes, even reads, gives an impression, you are helping. So thank you so much. And I will be able to put out more great content for you because of that. So thank you so much. And I will see you around. Okay. Bye-bye.